You're fluent in English. You've been speaking English for years, but for some reason, people still ask you to repeat yourself in conversations. They look at you confused or with this blank stare and say, "Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't catch that. What was that word?" It's frustrating, right? When you speak, people are distracted by your pronunciation. If this is you, then you're in the right place. Hello, my name is Emma and welcome to my channel, Pronunciation with Emma. I teach you everything you need to know about pronunciation. We're going to talk about why these things keep happening to you and how you can fix it today. And the other day, one of my students asked me this question. Literally, their question was, "Emma, I have been learning English for 10, 15, 20 years. I think they said 20 years, but still people ask me to repeat and I don't know why." And they're not the only person that's asked me this question. A lot of my students have asked. So I think it's time I made a video about it. So I want to get one thing super clear here. In this video, I'm not talking about your accent, and I'm definitely not talking about removing your strong accent, because everybody speaks with an accent. What I'm talking about in this lesson is pronunciation, which refers to the actual way that you're pronouncing the sounds. I'll also talk about the speed that you're speaking, your rhythm and intonation, and how you convey your emotions. When you shorten some of the vowel sounds when they should actually be long, when you remove some of the sounds which you should actually pronounce. So I'm not here to eradicate or erase your accent. I'm here in this video to help you be understood as a global, international English speaker. So if people are finding it difficult to understand you sometimes, it doesn't mean that your English is bad. It's probably actually the opposite. Your English is probably really good. You have a good level of grammar, you know the words, you can understand people. However, your life probably looks something like this. You're talking to a colleague at work and halfway through the conversation, they look at you like, "What? Sorry? Can you say that again? Can you repeat that, please?" Or you prefer to write emails or messages because you're avoiding speaking on the phone because you're scared that people won't understand you. Perhaps you're in a group and you're all talking together. You say something and then everyone looks at you just blankly and they don't say anything. And then they just continue the conversation like you didn't say anything. And when this happens, and trust me, it's happened to me in Spanish as well, it's normally because people don't understand you and they don't want to embarrass you by saying in front of everyone, like, "What? What did you say?" In the end, it just results in you feeling embarrassed and ashamed and really shy about your English because you think, "Oh, did I say something wrong?" It can feel quite isolating when this happens as well. So despite talking to your colleagues or you're in groups with friends or something, you still feel really isolated, like you're not really part of the conversation. I know how you feel because I have experienced it. So if these things are happening and they're happening quite often, then it's not an indication of your vocabulary or grammar being the problem. A lot of the time it's your pronunciation that's the problem. It could be pronunciation of specific words, even specific sounds. It could be your stress and your intonation. I've worked with thousands of people on their English pronunciation, and over the years when I've been doing pronunciation assessments with them, I've noticed the same things keep coming up again and again and again. And they're always the same 4 things that are affecting their clarity. Before I share these 4 things with you, I'd like you to do something for me. I'd like you to take out your phone, or if you're watching this on your phone, then you've already done step 1. Well done. Then you're going to open up a recording app on your phone. If you don't have a recording app on your phone, then you can just use something like WhatsApp or anything that you can use to record your voice. Then, for around a minute, you're going to record yourself speaking in English. You can either read something from a book, you can read something you found on the internet, you can just tell me about your day, anything. You just need to record yourself for around a minute. Don't worry about your grammar or vocabulary. As I always say to my students, this is pronunciation, we don't care about grammar. Don't feel pressured to get your grammar perfect, don't think about that. Just speak, because you're just going to be listening to your voice. You're not going to be listening to what you say in this recording, You're going to be listening to how you're saying it. So when you have your recording, now you can analyze your pronunciation. So the first thing I want you to listen for when you're listening back to your recording is your word stress. Word stress is where we place the emphasis in a word. So if a word has one syllable, then the stress goes throughout the whole word, like mug, cup, glass. These are all one syllable words. So the whole word is stressed. I'm going to say the whole world is stressed. I think the world knows I'm stressed right now after traveling yesterday. If the word has more than one syllable, then one of those syllables will be stronger than the other ones. For example, in the word table, I don't say table, like it's not strong, it's table. Another example, computer, not computer, computer. So you see, I'm only putting emphasis on one of the syllables. Now, of course, the longer the word, the more syllables there may be stressed. So if you think of words like international, this has 2 points of stress. It has a primary stress, international, yeah? Then it has a secondary stress. So it's not as strong, but it's still there. International. Now, if you're changing the stress placement in a word where it shouldn't be, 1, you can completely change the meaning of the word, but 2, you can also really confuse people. So if I say the sentence, pronunciation is very important, doesn't sound quite right, but you have an idea what I'm trying to say by the context. However, if I just say a word out of context like very, no one will really know what I'm talking about unless you see it written down or you have the context there to help you. So this is why word stress is so important, because you can say all the sounds correctly, but if your word stress isn't right, then it leads to misunderstandings. If you have no idea what the stress of the word should be, then you can listen to the pronunciation and see the transcription in a dictionary. I like to use the Cambridge Dictionary just because I find it very clear. But you can also read a text and listen to the audio at the same time. If you'd like a free story to practice your pronunciation with the audio included, then you can scan this QR code right here. If you can't scan it, don't worry, the link is down below in the description. And there I have a free story for you, which you can download and listen to the audio to help you practice your word stress. On the topic of stress, sentence stress is also really important because in English we emphasize certain words that we want to draw focus to, that we want people to focus on more while we're speaking. So if you're stressing random words or you're stressing every word in the sentence, it can make it quite difficult to follow along. Sentence stress is a huge topic, so if you'd like to learn more about it, I have a complete video lesson all about it for you. I will link it in the card above and down below in the description for you. Number 2 is confusing your vowel sounds. There is a huge difference between the long and short vowel sounds in English. For example, confusing sounds like I and E, what I like to call the miserable I and the smiley E, can lead to some very, very embarrassing situations for some people. I have some students who are scared to say spreadsheet in their meetings at work, and you can probably understand why. So pay close attention to the length of the vowels and ensure that you're slowing down your speech to give yourself time to say the long vowels and diphthongs. Here are a few sounds that are quite similar, but they are long and short. Notice how my mouth placement is with some of them. Some of them have not just differences in length, but they will also have differences in the mouth position. So pay attention. A, R, hat, heart, air, bed, bed, a, wet, wait, e, sit, seat, o, not, note. Number 3 is monotone intonation. Your intonation is what gives life and emotion to your speech. If your intonation is flat like this, then it can give the impression to someone that you are bored, indifferent, tired, or annoyed. So when you add intonation to your speech, it can help you express your emotions in a much clearer way. Now, like sentence stress, intonation is a whole other topic, and I have a fully dedicated video all about intonation in normal speech, in questions, sarcasm, and loads of different situations where intonation is very, very important. If you want to watch that lesson, then again, I've linked it up in the card above and also in the description below for you. Number 4, our final one, is final consonant dropping and devoicing. English loves to put lots of consonant sounds together, especially at the end of words. And while you can remove the consonant sounds at the end of some words in certain cases, doesn't mean that you can just remove random consonant sounds when you just find it difficult to pronounce them. For example, a common word that my students have problems with is the word world. A lot of them find it difficult to do the combination of l and d, old, and so they just remove the L. But what happens is you're then changing the word completely and it becomes word, which is an entirely different word with an entirely different meaning. So try not to remove consonant sounds when they're in these clusters together, unless you are able to, which is something I show my students, but doesn't mean you can just remove any consonant sound. There are rules. Another problem is devoicing consonants at the end of words. So words like bed start to sound like bet, mad sounds like mat, and pad sounds like pat. Now, this isn't such a big issue if you, again, have context there. But if you don't have the context and you're just saying these words in isolation, or you're introducing a topic and the context isn't set yet, then this can cause some problems. So be careful. Don't be switching your d sounds to t sounds at the end of words. So now you know what you need to work on. Let's talk about how you can fix these problems. The first thing is being aware of the problem itself. If you have a good ear, then you can listen to your recording and then a model. A model could be me, it could be your favorite actor, it could be anyone who you're just trying to shadow, that you're trying to copy. You can listen to your recording and your pronunciation and compare it to the model speaker. Are you doing anything different to what your model is doing? Have you noticed that they're using a particular type of intonation when they're talking about something, while your intonation is quite flat in comparison? However, if you're not able to listen to these things, or you're listening and you're thinking, yeah, I know they sound different, but I don't know how. I don't know why they sound different. Then you need a one-to-one teacher to help you. When you work with a one-to-one pronunciation coach, they can listen to your pronunciation, analyze it, see what the problems are and the areas that are holding you back from sounding clear. Then they can tell you what those problems are. After that, they can show you exactly how to fix them. It's really that simple when you work with a one-to-one teacher. If you're looking for something exactly like this, where someone can just listen to you, find the mistakes and problems you have, tell you exactly what those problems are, and then show you exactly how to fix it, then I have something for you. I've just launched my brand new British English pronunciation program. I listen carefully to your pronunciation and analyze all the mistakes that are getting in the way of you sounding clear in English. I then create a fully detailed report for you and have a one-to-one call with you to talk about all the mistakes that you're making, and then show you a clear 10-week plan of how we're going to fix them together. You will then work with one of my one-to-one coaches who are the best of the best pronunciation specialists. So in 10 weeks, you'll be speaking the best English that you've ever spoken in your life. The places for my pronunciation program are extremely limited. We don't waste our time with people who are just looking for casual conversations. We are looking for people who seriously want to transform their English pronunciation. So if that's you and you are serious, then you can drop me an email at emma@pronunciationwithemma.com. Give me a little introduction about yourself. Tell me why you want to join the program and why you want to improve your pronunciation, and then I'll tell you a little bit more. So to conclude our lesson today, you don't need more grammar. And you don't need to buy more books. You just need to focus on your clarity and how you sound. Remember, clarity leads to confidence. Confidence gets you taken seriously. And being taken seriously means that people trust you. When people trust you, they give you more opportunities. So don't let this keep holding you back. I hope today's video has shown you that improving your clarity and your pronunciation is actually quite simple. And you don't have to blame all areas of your English or start from scratch just because your colleague at work sometimes doesn't understand you. Remember, to get started with your English pronunciation, you can download my free pronunciation pack right here. It gives you everything you need to assess your pronunciation and correct and fix your pronunciation mistakes. If you're more serious about getting started with pronunciation and you'd like more details on the new one-to-one British English pronunciation program, I am so proud of it. I am so happy about this program. I've not really talked about it much. This is the first time I'm actually mentioning it here, so you're the first person to hear about this. So if you're interested in joining that, then send me an email. emma@pronunciationwithemma.com, and I will email you the full details. As mentioned, we only work with people one-to-one who are serious about improving their pronunciation, and we work extremely closely with you to help you achieve your pronunciation goals in just 10 weeks. Remember to like this video and subscribe if you're new to my channel and you'd like more British English pronunciation videos. I will see you in the next lesson. And I will probably also be here in the next video. So, still in Newcastle in the next video. I will see you then.